Today, I'm going to talk about two instructional strategies that can be really powerful in transforming your curriculum. So, the first one comes from chapter 9 in the Fisher Hale book, Upgrading Your Curriculum, and it talks about using film production. So, the example given in the book is from an eighth grade class, and essentially, a couple of teachers were given a directive from an administrator saying, hey, we need to incorporate some filmmaking. They would like to see that happen. And so two teachers in the middle school collaborated together to create a unit on filmmaking and having the students do a film project. There were a lot of logistics to work out in terms of like where they could use the computers and what cameras and all that kind of stuff. And then they had to work out time frame, which I think is really key, a big component of this. Um, and then the process itself, they really committed. They committed tons of time, lots and lots of effort. The teachers had to learn how to make a film themselves. They had to research and figure it out themselves so they could help the kids. They collaborated together to work it out. And they also had to build a lot of scaffolding in. Like they had to teach the students everything, how to use the camera, how to write a script, acting basics, all sorts of different things to kind of build the thing. One of the things I thought was really cool with the scaffolding was they actually had kids review film clips and then critique those film clips. So they talked about like how music can build a mood and how lighting can build a mood, and then they would watch a clip and critique it, which I think is so cool. Built a lot of enthusiasm. Every group had a director, which was a student, and the students just loved that, having a leader. The result was really positive. They talked about a lot of student enthusiasm and growth. The parents just absolutely loved the project. And in fact, they loved it so much that many of them were like, can my kid do this next year? My kid's going to be in eighth grade next year. So there was just a lot of like just general excitement about it. And even more teachers jumped on board and wanted to be part. I also want to talk about an example of a mock Congress and how a mock Congress can enhance an assignment. Now, you could do something similar to this. If it's not mock Congress, you could also do mock trial. Mock trial is another way that's usually incorporated easier into an English class. I use mock Congress in a government class. So my reasoning for doing a mock Congress was basically a desire to upgrade. I did not want my kids to learn government by just hearing about government. It didn't seem like that made a lot of sense since we wanted our kids to actually engage. The purpose of a government class is to get them to go out and vote when they turn 18. And so I wanted them to feel engaged, and I wanted them to feel empowered that they had an opinion and that their voice could make a difference. And of course, to create collaboration. So, in the process of the mock Congress, basically what happens is the students work collaboratively to write a bill and then promote the bill and then, of course, debate the bill. So, students work in groups. I put them in groups. I actually have to give them lessons on necessary content. So we learn how a bill becomes law in our system, the different processes that it has to go through, what's necessary in a bill for it to pass. And then we did a lot of brainstorming, like, okay, kids, what are you interested in? What is passionate? What's an issue that you're passionate about? And so I had just a variety of issues from animal rights to paying college athletes to new roads being built, all sorts of different things. Um, and then, of course, the students had to write the bill, which was a huge process. And then students had to promote the bill. So, the promotion was really an interesting piece. They had to create websites and promotional videos and then share those websites and videos on a forum post so that the rest of their teammates could or classmates could see it. Um, and then they had to actually debate their bill, stand up and talk about their bill, and try to get their classmates to vote on it. Um, the way that you pass a bill in the mock Congress is you had to pass it through two chambers. So that's two American government classes. And of course, the student is not in the other class. So it's just based on their video. Nobody in that class has actually written the bill. So they had to pass through two chambers, and it has to be signed by the president. And I was able to get our administrator to be the president and agree to sign the bills that passed, or that he believed should pass. Um, as I finish up this assignment, I really think it was amazing. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It was a ton of work. It took weeks and weeks of effort to get this through, but I loved it. I think one of my biggest keys was to actually organize the debate itself better. So when they actually stand up and discuss the bills and argue and then vote, just to have a better running system for that, because that can get really chaotic really fast. I'd also love to bring in an outside source. I'd love to bring in a local congressman and have them come and speak to our group, and maybe even allow him to like talk about the bills with them. It'd be interesting. I've also thought about creating political parties. I mean, in real life, bills get passed through political parties. The political parties push the bills through the system. And so I've thought about dividing the class in half and creating like fake political parties, like, I don't know, just come up with fake names, and allow them to try to work together to get bills passed. And so I may continue that next year. But for now, I'm very happy with the system that I have.